everyone, Dan the Cardman back again with another pretty interesting video. So as you can see by the video title, today I'm going to talk you through how to use Ship My Cards. This is really good if you live outside of the States. You can also use it if you're in the States as well for some benefits, but basically if you live overseas, you basically use this service to save a substantial amount of money on postage and fees. Now, apologies if my dogs are barking in the background, they're going a bit crazy tonight. So a couple of weeks ago, or just before Christmas, you would have seen that I had a Ship My Cards order, and I had a bunch of cards come through, and I spent so much money and ended up saving probably a couple grand, to be honest, in postage fees. And then also because cards are typically cheaper in the US, I saved a lot of money there as well. So I'm just going to talk you through how to use this service. So basically, I'll jump to it. So this is their website, shipmycards.com. So you need to register with an account, obviously. And there's a few things that worth pointing out. Basically, the way it works is you register with them. They give you an address. You have to link it to your username. I'll explain how that works in a second as well. And then you need to make sure that there's a certain amount of money in your account. And basically what that money is for is that they basically charge you a fee for every incoming mail that you receive, right? And the fees are pretty low, and they're pretty insignificant in comparison to what you'd pay for postage in the first place, right? So that's sort of what you can see up here where I've got, oh, you can't see my mouse. Oh, now you can. I've got $19 left in my account. There's some notifications here, which I'll explain shortly. But basically the first step you have to do is you'd come here, you'll see all these things. You can see all my fees. I put $100 in. So basically you just use PayPal, or you can use bank deposit. PayPal's just the easiest, to be honest. And just remember it's in USD. So it's $100 USD that I've deposited into here. Now I'll go through the FAQs first, just to explain how it actually works. So this is some information here as to what Ship My Card is, and like I said, they're a mail forward service. So basically you register an account with them. If there's something you want to buy in the States, it gets shipped to this address in the States. You pay very little postage to get it there. Sorry, they charge you a minor fee, and then you basically cards sit there for as long as you want them to, until you're ready to send them back to Australia. So they'll hold them essentially indefinitely. They do a few other things here where they talk about so all your cards are basically insured while they're there as well, which is good. There's a tax-free option with Oregon because they have an address in Oregon, and they've got two facilities, one in Arizona, one in Oregon. I'll explain what the difference is between the two shortly. A few other things here, they're pretty good. They have basically a help desk in contact with their family business. They're pretty good, pretty responsive. So if there's any questions you might have, they're really good at answering them in a relatively timely manner. So that's good. They also talk about insuring packages back home. That's fine. But they also do some pretty cool things with PSA and BGS. So if you do have cards you want to pick up in the States that you think are probably worth getting graded, let's say you bought them, you pay $50, $60 to get that one card shipped to Australia, you get it to Australia, and you're like, well, actually, this is probably worth grading. I want to send it to PSA. So you send it to PSA, it costs you another $30, $40 to get it to PSA, and then you're waiting, right? What Ship My Cards allow you to do is your cards basically sit in your little inventory. You can use their service to directly send to PSA as well. So you save money on the postage in that regard. They also do a consignment with PWCC as well, which is pretty cool. Now, the interesting thing here is the fees, which I'll get to in a second. I'll quickly talk through the address. So let's say you register an account. You basically put this address into your eBay, Ship My Cards collection of, and that'll be your username that you've registered with. So mine is Dan the Cardman 1. So that's what I'd put there. And you put that address in, and then also you have the Oregon address, and basically so you save on postage. So what they say here is designed for purchase of $35 plus to basically eliminate the sales tax. So they say it's worth it, I think, if it's actually $50 or more. So if you purchase something on eBay over $50, send it to you put both addresses in, you basically send it to Oregon instead of Arizona, and you save on sales tax. Now, they do one minor difference for sending to Oregon. So basically, I'll go through the fees now and explain the difference between Arizona and Oregon in a second. And I'm talking a lot, and if I'm going too fast, let me know. I can redo the video if you don't like in the comments below. But basically, if you send one card to Arizona, they charge you $2 US. And that basically comes out of that deposit cash that you put in, where I showed you I had $19 left. That comes out of that automatically. So it's good. You need to make sure if you're buying cards, you've got cash sitting in there, because they don't like they'll let you go into the negative, but they don't like it. It's never happened to me, but it has happened to others. And they get a bit grumpy with that, which is only fair, right? So basically, if you get one card, it's $2. If you send two cards, it's $4 for Arizona. If you send three or more, it's $5. And I think I've sent haven't sent a bunch of cards. I think the most I sent was like 160 stickers, which are those Dragon Ball Z ones, which are basically cards. And they only charged me $5 for that, which is really good, right? If you want a box of cards, it's $5. And then it's $5 to $20 per large item. I'm not sure what constitutes a large item. And then 20 plus for extremely large items. So I think that's things like football helmets, baseball bats, any kind of other memorabilia, sneakers, anything, basically action figures. They'll take it all. Just what they recommend based on some of the things I've seen in the Facebook groups is that you want to reach out to them via the help desk first and make sure what fee the item you're sending in will be captured under, and then also whether they will actually accept it or not. Now, Oregon, they charge a little bit more because what Oregon is essentially is a facility that's purely just a mail forwarding service for them. So they establish that so you can save on sales tax when purchasing items. But given that they need to send everything back to Arizona because Arizona is their like main hub and that's where all the cards are stored, they need to charge you a little bit more. So instead of charging you $2 a card, they charge you $5. And then instead of charging you $5 for a lot of cards, they're charging you $8. And then basically $10 for a box, and then they don't take any large items without approval. So that's what I said earlier, where if there is something you want to send to Oregon and you want to save on the sales tax, you need to message them on the help desk first, and they'll basically talk you through it. And then, as I say here, all the items from Oregon are forwarded daily to Arizona. So it's pretty simple. You basically add these two addresses into your eBay after you made an account, you deposit the cash, you buy the card on eBay, it gets sent here. Now, there's a bit of a time lag. If I go to the workflow, this is basically the dashboard, right? Sometimes there's a bit of a time lag, especially during the holiday period or during periods where there's public holidays, where they don't process the cards instantly. So you might see on eBay, for example, that your card gets shipped to Arizona, for example, but you come in to ship my cards and the cards are not there. It's because typically they take 1 or 2 days max to process. So currently, they've basically done all parcels received up till January the 7th. They're currently working on January the 8th. So in Arizona, they're currently up to date. So I think the furthest they got behind during the Christmas period was like 2 days, which is still pretty good. Oregon was a bit more delayed, and you can again see that they've basically done up to January 3rd for deliveries. They're currently processing January 4th to 5th. And then they've got 2 other indicators here for you, which are pretty cool. So if you have 5 items in your inventory, you decide, okay, actually, I want to send those back home. At the moment, they're up to the same day. If you have more than 5 items, they're currently 3 days behind, 4 days behind, which is not too bad. Now, it's pretty cool. So when your cards do come in, you'll have a dashboard that looks like this. Sorry, wrong thing. You have a dashboard that looks like this. So at the moment, these are the cards that are sitting in my inventory. You can go in here and change the value of these if you want from an insurance perspective. So you can click onto it. This is what they'll typically do. If you have a lot of cards, they'll just take a photo with a bunch of cards. Now, what you can do, and in this case, like, so let's say you have some concerns around the condition of the card. So what they do is when they open the card and go to take the photo, they'll do like a high-level inspection of the card to make sure that there's no obvious damage, like no like poorly packaged items or anything like that. If there is, they'll flag you. But what they do is they'll take this photo. If you actually want to see something a bit more detailed or you want something clarified, you can ask them a question. They'll go there and then open it up for you and have a look and then answer basically your question. So I think they charge a small fee if you want something done like that, but I think it's worth it. So you can see I've got a couple of Dragon Ball Z cards here, some pretty cool ones, rare ones if you know what they are. And you can see I've got a lot here. So what hypothetically what I can do as well, which is pretty cool, and I didn't mention earlier, but basically you can use this as a selling platform. So they have a marketplace where you can sell cards to other collectors and hobby enthusiasts that use Ship My Cards. But what you can also do is go ahead and use these photos, list them on your eBay store, and then basically send them to your buyers on eBay through here, which is pretty cool. So this sell basically means sell on the marketplace or list it on the marketplace. This transfer, what that means is, let's say I've got 3 cards here, but I want to sell one, or I want to send one off for grading. I can split that lot up into 2 separate lots then, or 3, for example. I could say, okay, this card I want to sell on eBay, this card I want to send for grading, this card I want to send back home. So then you tell them to separate it and they'll separate it into like individual ones like this. So it's pretty cool. I don't think there's anything else maybe worth mentioning. You can sort of see here from a shipping perspective, you can see all the other cards that I bought last time in my video. But it's pretty cool. Like, I think if you're not using it, you're a bit silly because the amount of money you're saving is a bit ridiculous, to be honest. Like, I think for most of these cards, shipping was free. So I'm saving on free shipping, right? But let's hypothetically say this Vegeta was something I wanted to buy. This is a really rare insert card from Series 4. It's one of the clear chase cards. There's only 2 chase cards per booster box. And it's not uncommon to have those duplicated. There's not too many of these booster boxes around. So this card is incredibly rare. It's not correctly valued by the market, but currently they're selling for around $50 USD to $100, right? So let's say I wanted to buy this here in Australia. I'd say, okay, the cheapest one's $50 USD, so convert that to AUD, and then basically I got to pay almost the same amount of price, same amount of money in shipping, right? So I'm paying double the money to get it to Australia. Whereas now, because it was in the US, the seller was maybe a bit more inclined to make a sale, so I could send through an offer because they're not paying, or doesn't have the risk of sending it internationally. Cost me nothing to ship to my address, so I saved $70 because I would have bought this card anyway, right? Because I needed it for my collection, but I'm saving $70, which means I could buy these other 2 rare cards from the same set and this rare promo card for free. Like the amount of, it's mind-boggling the amount of money I saved on my first order with Ship My Cards, right? Like, I still spent over $1,000 Australian, but those cards valued, like, factored into what it would be for me to buy them traditionally through eBay, and then probably what I would have had to pay to buy those same cards in Australia. I probably saved, like, I would probably spent 4 or 5 grand to get those same cards for $1,000, right? It's just mental. It's just crazy. So I think if you're in Australia, if you're in Europe, or basically if you're outside the States and you're not using this service, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Like you're basically throwing money away. You're burning money. So you don't want to be doing that. Unless you like burning money, right? So that's sort of where it's at. If there's any questions you guys might have, let me know in the comments below. But depositing money is pretty easy. I think you can, where's added credits? You come into here, you basically say the amount and then how you want to do it, which is pretty cool. Oh, and then there's also, I clicked the wrong button, I think. No, that's the right one. But you can also cash out. So if you basically say, okay, well, I had $300 in there. I had it in there just for all the cards I wanted to buy, and then also to cover postage. And then it turns out it was less. You have like $100 left. You can send that $100 back to your personal account. They charge a fee, which is fair. It's not ideal. So I think the best thing is just to leave it in there. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, and they have a bunch more FAQs, like talking about, do they accept non-con items? What's the benefit? So basically here what they say. So they say, so the Oregon address should just be used for items $50 plus bought on eBay. And the reason why they say that is because $35 plus the sales tax in Arizona would be $50, right? That's not including sales tax at $35. But it's pretty cool. Like, what else is there? They talk about, can they submit, like I said, through BGS, through PSA. Just check it out, guys. I think you're doing yourself a disservice for not using it. And I'll quickly show you the marketplace. That's what I didn't show you. And this is a very long video, so I do apologize, but it does go into everything. So if you're sticking to the end, I really appreciate it. But you can see here, these are cards that other people on Ship My Cards are selling. And generally the prices are pretty affordable because you can do box-to-box transfer. So what that means is you don't have to pay for postage. They just ship it to you. They just take it out of their box and put it into your box. So pretty cool. And you can filter it as well. I think there's a way to filter by, or you can just search for the sport you're interested in or the player you're interested in to see what they have. Like if we go to UFC, for example, if there's anything UFC related. There, nice. You can see there's a bunch of things. So it's pretty cool. And basically to purchase the card, you need to make sure you've already got the money deposited into your account. Now, the other thing that's worth mentioning is that if you're a sports card person, and I say sports cards because it's typically what happens with box breaks, but if you want to enter box breaks and you're unhappy with what the prices are like in the UK, in Australia, because over here it's bloody ridiculous to get into a box break, you can get into one in the States and you can use this to have your card sent there, right? So all these people in the past that wouldn't let you enter the break because you don't live in the US, well, here's your alternative now. I can actually do that. And what's also really cool is they have their own online store as well, as in Ship My Cards themselves. I said Fanatics because I read that, but basically they sell boxes of cards. As you can see, they're pretty cheap. In my opinion, I think they're pretty good, and they generally offer fairly good prices. So there's the Don Russ Road to Qatar boxes. I might pick up a few of those. You've got graded card sleeves from BCW. You've got stands. Basically anything and everything you could use. It's basically your local card shop is what these guys end up being, which is phenomenal, right? You can get cases. Like, I think it's just really cool. And Like, I'm so angry at myself because if I should have used this earlier. I'd heard about them, but I didn't look into it until a friend of mine on Instagram or someone I follow on Instagram started using it. I was like, I asked him some questions, how it worked, and jumped into it from then. Like, I'm honestly in love. Like, I probably could have saved myself upwards of $1,000 over the last 12 months alone, just on things I'd already bought, if not more. Like, I don't want to try and actually quantify it because it's pretty, it's pretty stressful, to be honest. So that's it. I hope you liked the video. Like I said before, if there's any questions, shoot them in the comment section below or send me a PM on Instagram or on YouTube. I'm always happy to answer any questions you guys might have. Apologies for the video going for 15 minutes. I probably could have made it more concise, but I just wanted to make it as detailed as possible. So I hope you liked the video. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.